how can me screen potentially be used to detect early signs of dysfunction or even before the symptoms are present?
Yeah, so the limitation with mitochondrial testing has been there's nothing comprehensive. So we talked about this. Mitochondria make energy, they move, they're dynamically shifting, they dysfunction in unique kinds of ways. And so if you're going to measure mitochondrial function, you can't use genetics to do it. They're a dynamic organelle that's constantly doing stuff. And genetics is your DNA that's there when you're dead or alive, right? It's the same thing. So how is that going to tell you what a dynamic system is doing? The other thing that people use are static biochemical tests, right? So if you look at a handful or a single biomarker, they can theoretically predict what your mitochondria are doing. Impossible, right? Especially if you're looking at it in urine, something you're excreting, and not even blood. And so where MeScreen excels beyond all of this is that it doesn't care about your genetics in a direct way. We are looking at genetics in an indirect way. And it doesn't care about a set of biomarkers. It looks at everything you're creating. So with the poke of your finger and a couple drops of blood, we're capturing everything that you make as a consequence of your environmental exposure, your genetics, your microbiome, your mitochondria. All of these things are creating a complex you, which is captured in blood. And instead of limiting it to one or a handful of the things in there to figure out what you are, we take the entire you, and in MeScreen, we move it to a cell that's never seen you. This cell has mitochondria, and now we reflect to see what those mitochondria are doing when they're existing in your personalized created environment. This now gives you a full picture of what your mitochondria are doing. We can look at functionality, we can look at dysfunction from a reactive oxygen species generation, and importantly, we can look at the dynamics. How are your mitochondria, or how is your environment shaping how your mitochondria move and dynamically shift? By understanding the function, the dysfunction, and the structural dynamic aspects, you get a complete picture of who you are from a mitochondrial perspective. And now you can make those decisions. Are the things you're doing to advance your health, well-being, or disease you're dealing with, are they working? Or do you need to alter them in a unique way?